Sofia is the wife and mother to the Volkov's family. Her husband Vincent is an Italian mafia. He's dominant and merciless to everyone who meets besides her. And the two sons, Akvia and Dante. Sofia's oldest son, Akvia, is 6 years old, while Dante is 4 years old. She is currently in the kitchen, making dinner for her family while her two sons are on either side, hugging a hip and waist. The front door opens and Vincent comes into the kitchen to see his family. His face tired but happy when he sees three of them. Vincent puts his guns on the nearby kitchen table, his jacket soon following after. His eyes landed on them, and he couldn't help but smile. His boys clinging their mother as his eyes met Sofia. He began walking over to her. "Three of you are looking cute in the kitchen," Vincent teased, before kissing her forehead and kissing the tops of kids' heads. Vincent smirked, his arm wrapping around Sofia's waist as he brought her close to him. His free hand ruffled Dante's hair and Akvia's as he spoke in a sweet tone. "What are you cooking, darling?" "Making your favorite meal today, sweetheart." Vincent's smirk grew and he hummed, his arm tightening around her waist to hold her even closer to him. He leaned down, so his head was on Sofia's shoulder, looking at the food she was making before whispering in her ear. "You spoil me." "I like spoiling you, Daddy." Vincent let out a low, warm chuckle that rumbled against her back, his fingers gently tracing circles on her hip. He pressed a slow kiss just behind her ear before pulling back, slightly to look at the kids clinging to her. "Akvia, Dante, did you help Mama?" he asked softly, voice tender in a way only they ever heard. Both boys nodded, eagerly, Akvia proudly declaring, "He chopped garlic," while Dante giggled and held up tiny tomato slices. Vincent's eyes shimmered with quiet. "Good men help their mother." Then back to Sofia, voice deep and sweet like aged wine. "And I'll spoil you right back tonight, after they're asleep." "Ah, children are listening. Go freshen up, then come down for dinner." Vincent smirked, leaning in to brush a quick kiss over her lips before ruffling both boys' hair. "Papa's going to wash up. Be good for Mama." He lingered just long enough to wink at her, dark eyes warm with promise before turning toward the stairs, boots quiet against the marble. A few steps up, he glanced back. "Don't let them steal all the garlic bread, or I'll have to take it from you myself." Then he was gone, leaving Sofia with two giggling boys and the sweet weight of being loved, like only a Volkov knows how. Just go. "This man is crazy." Vincent chuckled, amused at Sofia's mock annoyance. "You love it." Though he disappeared up the stairs, but his voice lingered like smoke. You could almost picture the way he was taking off his suit jacket, unbuttoning his shirt, revealing the ink and muscle beneath that only you get to see. The kids tugged at Sofia, breaking up her thoughts, their adorable faces oblivious to where her mind was heading. Maybe tonight wouldn't be the longest wait. 40 minutes later, Vincent returned, hair and skin, freshly washed, with a white towel slung over his shoulder. He'd changed into a t-shirt that hugged the broad planes of his chest, showing off the black ink snaking down his arms and wrists, as well as the scars from years of business. All evidence of his earlier weariness was gone, replaced by his usual intensity. He leaned against the doorframe, watching Sofia and the kids setting the table. "Smells amazing, darling.
Come join us."
Vincent pushed off the doorframe with a slow, predatory grace, like a panther returning to his den. He crossed the kitchen in 3 strides, crouching first to bump his forehead gently with then lifting Dante into his arms like he weighed nothing. "Papa's here," he murmured, kissing each boy's temple before sliding into the seat beside Sofia. His thigh brushed hers, under the table, warm, possessive. He reached over and took her hand, pressing her knuckles to his lips without breaking eye contact. "Now? It's perfect. I will eat you for dessert," Sofia said. A dark smirk curled Vincent's lips, and his gaze raked over her like a physical touch, eyes sparking with feral promise. "Oh, will you now?" He leaned close, lips brushing the shell of her ear as he spoke, voice a seductive rumble. "Careful, sweetheart. I might just hold you to that."
Okay, if you say so.
"Kids finished up so that your dad can clean the kitchen while we go watch TV." Vincent glanced at the kids, who'd immediately taken on innocent faces. He shook his head, a low huff of a laugh escaping. "You think they're so smooth?" He turned back to Sophia, eyebrow creeping up, voice dropping to an intimate whisper. "We both know what watching TV means. Don't make me think otherwise. You know I can get crazy." Smirk grew. He leaned back in his chair, the motion shifting his t-shirt up, revealing a tantalizing strip of muscled abdomen. "I love it when you get crazy." He pulled her closer, free arm hooking around her waist. His hand was big enough to span the small of her back, the heat of his touch like a brand through Sophia's clothes. "But maybe we should pretend for the boys. Be good parents." "Go clean the kitchen, my friend," Sophia said, gave her a mock pout. But his eyes shone with amusement. He reluctantly released her, standing up from the table. "If you insist, but I'm holding you to that dessert later." He shot one last teasing grin before heading over to the sink with gathered dishes. His arms flexed as he washed them, muscles shifting beneath the ink and scars, and he hummed an Italian song under his breath. Later, he joined us as we watched movie together. "The kids are sleeping already. I carried Dante and Vincent took Akia to bed as soon as I locked kids' room." Vincent grabbed me up his shoulder. "It's time for that dessert," he said. Vincent's eyes burned with hunger as he hoisted Sophia easily over his shoulder, a possessive hand gripping her thigh. He stalked down the hallway and into the master bedroom, kicking the door shut behind them. As soon as the latch clicked, he spun, pressing her back against the wall. His body pressed against hers, pinning her between the wall and himself. His mouth found her throat, teeth nipping just hard enough to send a shiver up her spine. "I tried to be patient, darling, but you made me wait too long. Do you think you can handle me tonight?" Vincent grinned against her skin, a dark chuckle rumbling in his chest. He lifted his head from her neck to look at Sophia's eyes, smoldering with raw desire. "Oh, I can handle you, sweetheart." He rocked his hips against hers, pressing her hard against the wall. His free hand roved over her waist and hip, fingers dipping beneath her shirt to brush tantalizingly over bare skin. "Question is, can you handle me? Just take me. I can't take any more, Daddy." The second those words left Sophia's lips off, desperate Vincent froze, his breath hitched, pupils swallowing the amber of his eyes. A low growl tore from his throat as he spun her around, pressing her back to his front. One hand tangled in her hair, gently but firmly tilting her head to expose the curve of her neck. The other wrapped around her waist, pulling her flush against him. "Daddy," he murmured into her ear, voice rough with need, and something deeper. Something possessive and sweet and feral all at once. "You're going to ruin me one day." And then his lips were on hers, biting kisses down the column of her throat as he carried her toward the bed. Just then his phone rang, his man the second in command. "Bose, there is a problem." Vincent swore his fingers, curling tight around Sophia's hip as the phone rang. He rested his forehead against her shoulder, trying to rein in his desire and irritation. After 3 rings, he finally answered, voice low and rough with frustration. "This better be important. Billy?" The Jay-Z's men attacked the West House. Vince's body went rigid, the warmth, the desire snuffed out like a match in a storm. He stepped back from her, voice turning to ice. "Who's hurt?" Silence on the other end for half a second too long. "I'm taking 6 men. No guns, we. Go quiet and close. If they think they can touch my city while I'm home with my family." He turned to Sophia. Eyes dark, now hard as stone but softened at her face. He cupped her cheek for just 1 second, thumb brushing her lips. "Stay. Iddy, lock the doors. Then he was moving, tossing his phone on the bed, grabbing his holster from the nightstand. To the receiver again. Tell them Papa's coming. And just like that, the husband and father vanished. Only the Doan remained. His men were guarding the house, heavily armed, and Vincent went to face his rival in the Western house, fearless, determined to win. As for me, I was home wondering how is it gonna end, and for how long we have to live in fear. Looking at kids beautifully sleeping, not knowing what is happening around their world, is terrifying me. But what can I say? Only hope that Vincent will come home safe. The night ticked by in a slow crawl. The mansion was quiet. The only sounds the hum of the AC and the soft breathing of Sophia's two sleeping sons in their rooms. Time lost all meaning as thoughts spun. Vincent was good maybe, the best, but the Jays were ruthless. What if... No! Sophia refused to let her mind go there. Just as Sophia's eyes were drifting closed, a light rap on the front door jolted her back awake. "Who are you? Stay away," Sophia asked in fear. "Who are you? Stay away." There was a pause. Then Vincent's voice, in a harsh whisper, a familiar rasp you could recognize anywhere. "Open the door. It's me." "Oh, goodness! Vincent, are you okay?" The relief that crashed over Sophia was almost overwhelming. She hurried to the door, unlocking it and pulling it open. In the pale porch light, she saw him standing like a dark statue, covered in blood. For a long moment, he just stared at her, taking in her form like he'd been waiting for the moment for years. Then he spoke, his voice low and hoarse, from hours of growling commands and threats. "Can I come in, darling?" "Yes, yes, come. Let me get you water to calm down." Vincent stepped inside, his heavy boots leaving faint smudges on the marble. He let the door click shut behind him and didn't move, still as stone. "Still dangerous, Stephen?" As she rushed to the kitchen with shaky hands, pouring a glass of water. She turned back to hand it to him. Hun froze. His shirt was torn at the shoulder, blood seeped through near his ribs. Not fresh, but not old either. "Vings," her voice cracked. He took the glass from her slowly, fingers brushing hers warm with adrenaline and violence. He drank deeply before setting it down and stepping forward until he was just inches from her. Finey." One hand rose to cradle her face, thumb wiping away a tear her didn't even know had fallen. "Western house is ours again. No more threats tonight." Leaned in, pressing his forehead to hers. "I needed to feel you. Hear your voice. Make sure I'm still me after what I did out there." And softer. "Don't look at me like that. I came back. Always come back for you. Let me take of your clothes. It's full of blood, so we can bath together. Don't ask me what I will do to you there. Surely I won't have mercy on you for scare me like that." The corner of Vincent's lips twitched in a half-suppressed smirk, even as he lifted his arms and let her pull the tattered shirt over his head, bearing a sea of ink and scars that would make you shiver if it didn't turn you on so much. He leaned a hand on the wall, his eyes drinking in the lines of her face. "Merci," he hummed, voice like rich wine, like sin, like silk. "You'd give your big bad Mafia husband mercy? You are a bad boy. Let's finish. You need to rest." After cleaning him, I got him hot coffee and went to sleep. After the bath, I watched as Vincent sipped the coffee. The weariness was clear in his eyes now, despite the intensity of his gaze. He set the cup down and reached to her, pulling her into his lap, strong arms wrapping around Sophia like an anchor. She could feel his heart thudding in his chest, the faint tremors in his muscles as he held her close, burying his face in her neck. A moment of vulnerability he'd never show to anyone but her. He was just a man. Vincent breathed her in like a man drowning, his fingers tangling in her hair. His touch was tender, almost desperate, as if he still needed to make certain she was safe and here and real. The scent of his soap, the heat of his skin, the soft sound of her breath against his neck. He lifted his head to look at her, amber eyes glinting with a mixture of exhaustion, desire, love. "I need thee," he began, then stopped, voice rough. "I need you to sleep by me tonight. Just stay close." No more words, just him pulling back the covers, guiding her under them, spooning behind her like a blade guarding its sheath. His arm draped over her waist, possessive even in rest. And as she breath slowed and the world finally went quiet, his lips brushed her shoulder one last time. "Mine," he whispered into the dark. "I love you," Sophia said. Vincent's hold on her tightened, his body curving against her own. He was warm and solid, a heavy weight of muscle and ink and scars, and so much more. "I love you more," he murmured against her neck, the words a soft rumble against her skin. "I'd do anything for you, darling." Then his breathing slowed, the rhythm familiar and soothing. You knew he was finally falling asleep, exhausted, but safe and whole and hers. The warmth of her words lingered in the air as Vincent shifted slightly, drawing her even closer. His breath tickled her neck, soft and steady now, but his voice came raw with meaning. "You're my heart," he whispered. "And this life, it's only worth living because you're in it." Silence fell, gentle and deep. The house was quiet once more, guarded by men with guns outside, but truly protected by the love humming between two souls who chose each other every single day. For a while, Sophia lay there listening to the sound of his breathing, the steady rhythm, a soothing reminder that he was here, with you, alive. Just as sleep tugged at her mind, she felt Vincent shift again. One arm tightened around her almost protectively, while his other hand found hers under the covers. His fingers, rough with calluses from years of holding guns and fighting for what he believed in, wove through hers a silent promise. "I'll always come back for you." That act has given me a sense of assurance and relief. Vincent felt the change in her tension easing, the faint tremors that had run through her now calmed. "Sleep," he whispered, bringing her joined hands to his lips and planting a soft kiss on the back of her knuckles. "I've got you!" Then he settled back, pulling her closer until her back was flush against his chest, his arm a comforting weight around her, one muscular leg tangled with her own, like a lion wrapping her in his embrace. The morning came we did not know till the kids started jumping on us. "Morning, Daddy! Morning, Mommy!" First thing Sophia felt was a tiny elbow jabbing her ribs, repeated, relentless. Then Dante's giggles right in her ear. "Mama! Papa! Oopie!" Vincent groaned into the pillow, one arm instinctively tightening around Sophia as he tried to shield both of them from the assault. Akvia was bouncing on the bed like a mini earthquake. "Papa," Vincent muttered through gritted teeth, "I swear I will ground both of them for life." But then Dante crawled over and plopped his little head on Vincent's chest with an innocent smile. Eyes so big and sweet it could melt steel, or at least soften even a blood-stained Mafia boss. Vincent has given up on sleep and asked the kids, "What do you two want?" Vincent's surrender was swift and complete. He opened his eyes to see Dante's face inches from his own, those big brown eyes, and wide, hopeful smile, just like a weapon. He tried a stern frown, but the effect was ruined by his gravelly morning voice and the way Dante was still sitting on his chest. He propped himself up on one elbow, still holding Sophia to him with the other arm. "What do your little demons want now?" Completely oblivious to his father's grumpy facade, launched straight into a passionate speech. "We want pancakes and chocolate milk." Akvia, ever the supportive sister, chimed in, bouncing on the bed again as she clapped her hands together. "And cartoons. All the cartoons. And candy. Lots and lots of candy. Okay, let's go and make pancakes." Vincent groaned under his breath, but it was more for show than anything else. He knew he stood no chance against their combined cuteness. He shifted to get out of bed, lifting Dante up and setting him on his shoulder. Little boy let out a gleeful shout, clinging to his father like a monkey, while Vincent rubbed his eyes in exaggerated exhaustion. "Just don't make a mess," he grumbled, eyeing Agvia with mock suspicion. Vincent's jaw dropped slightly as he watched Sophia effortlessly flip a perfect golden pancake with one hand. The other cradling Dante like it was nothing. The kids cheered at Kavia, bouncing on her toes, while Dante clapped his hands in glee. He crossed his arms over his bare chest, eyes narrowing playfully. "To be this damn good at everything?" he muttered under his breath. "But there was pride in it, too." A deep, warm kind that only came out when he saw her thrive. Agvia tugged on Vincent's pant leg and pointed at the pan. "Papa, Mama's making hearts." Vincent glanced back at the pan, noticing the hearts Sophia shaped in the pancake batter. He couldn't help but smile. He crouched down to Agvia's height, ruffling her hair with his free hand. "Well, would you look at that?" Stood back up as she brought the pancakes to the table. The kids scrambled to their seats, Dante still giggling on his shoulder. Vincent leaned against the kitchen counter, watching Sophia move with such easy grace. He could have stared at her for hours, but his kids were getting impatient. "Are you joining us, or keep staring?" His gaze still fixed on her as he crossed the room to the table. He set Dante down in a chair before claiming the spot next to Sophia. "Can't blame a man for enjoying the view," he murmured, eyes glittering with the dark light. He let his hand rest on her thigh, fingers tracing idle patterns under the table. "Besides, I'd rather watch my beautiful wife cook in an apron than eat anything else right now." "You are always hungry for bad stuff, bad boy." His smirk only grew, the hand on her thigh sliding higher, giving a possessive squeeze. His eyes roamed over her drinking and the sight of her cooking in an apron a vision that would drive any man into sin. "Darling," he murmured, voice low and rough, "you have no idea how bad I can be, especially around you." His fingers teased the edge of the apron, toying with the ties in a silent promise. "Stop, kids are watching us," Sophia said. Vincent's gaze flicked to the kids, who were too busy eating to pay much attention. Then his gaze darkened, a wicked smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "They'll survive," he murmured, his thumb brushing a tantalizing path along her thigh. "Besides, it's good for them to see their father loving their mother. It teaches them the right values." His hand moved higher as he spoke, inching under the apron. "And I, darling, am a very loving husband." Suddenly he grabbed her and run to the room and locked it, leaving the kids in dining room. "Let's finish what we could not finish yesterday." Sophia said no, not now, but is already all over her. Vincent didn't hesitate. The second Sophia said, he froze every muscle in his body, locking tight, hands still on her but no longer moving. His breath came ragged, like a beast yanked back from the edge of a cliff. For one terrifying heartbeat, he looked wild eyes, black with need and frustration. Then something else flickered. Control. He swallowed hard and stepped back slowly. "You're right." His voice was gravel wrapped in velvet, the kind that made your spine tingle even as it chilled you. I got carried away, a hand through his hair, jaw clenched so hard it pulsed. Then softer, "Go check on the kids. I'll be down soon." But when he turned to leave, Sophia saw he throw away his fists trembled at his sides, like they were fighting to stay closed. And just before shutting the door behind him, he muttered into nothing. "Fucking hell." Sophia quickly set the kids ready for school with their snacks. Water bottles, uniforms, and backpacks they took off to school with one of Vincent's men. As she waved two children goodbye, she turned back to the room to Vincent. "Hi, Daddy, now is you and me at home. Let me show you what I can do." Vincent was on the bed, fists twisted in the sheets and back arched. His shoulders were tense muscles coiled like a spring. He looked like one of his own paintings, all shadow and sharp edges and desperate hunger. His eyes, when they met hers, burned red hot. The second she shut the bedroom door, key was on her. One hand threaded through her hair, tugging her hard against him as his mouth found her neck, his voice ragged against her skin. He whispered. "Yes, babe," Sophia answered softly, the sound more animal than man. He pulled her back onto the bed, pinning her beneath him in one smooth move. His fingers tugged her shirt off, baring her skin to his gaze. He pulled back to look, eyes raking over her with barely restrained hunger. "All mine," he whispered, voice little more than a rumble. "Every single damn inch ass yours, babe. Take it all," said Sophia. Vincent needed no further invitation. He was on her in an instant, lips hot and frantic against her skin. He was everywhere, all at once, hands wandering, mouth seeking, body pressing hers into the bed. It was like being consumed by a storm, wild and reckless and dangerous, but also strangely safe. There was no need for words right now, just touch. Skin against skin, heat against heat. It was animalistic, it also so damn intimate. They had it that morning, beautiful guys. Vincent collapsed beside her, sweat-slicked and breathing hard. His chest rose and fell like a storm had just passed through him. He turned his head to look at her eyes, still dark with satisfaction, but softening as he took in her face. With a slow groan, he dragged an arm over his forehead before rolling toward her, pulling Sophia's spent body against the heat of his. "Beautiful!" he rasped. "Darling!" That was war. "Ah!" Lazy smirk curled on his lips as he pressed a kiss to her temple, only part of him that could move without collapsing again. Vincent chuckled, low and rough, his arm tightening around her. His body was still thrumming with the aftershocks of what just happened, what she did to him. "You always do this," murmured against her skin, voice thick with satisfaction. "Turn me into a damn animal, then act all sweet about it." Pressed another kiss to her forehead before rolling onto his back, stretching like a smug panther in sunlight. "But don't think I'm letting you get away with calling that beautiful again, unless you want round two." "Don't pretend you also enjoy it," said Sophia. Vincent's smirk widened, sharp, feral, repentant. He rolled onto his side again, propping himself up on one elbow to loom over her. His free hand trailed down her stomach with slow intent. He let out a rough laugh. "Darling, I don't just enjoy it." His fingers pressed just above Sophia's hip bone hard enough to make her feel the claim in them. "I live for it. It has been years. As the boys grow, the danger around them grow. It's becoming terrifying day by day." One night Sophia stood at the window side thinking about the future of Acvia and Dante. Vincent came and hugged her from behind. "What do you think about?" she answered, with fear in her eyes. "For how long do we have to live in fear? Look, the children are growing, but they have no freedom like other kids. I don't like this life anymore." Vincent stiffened behind her, the warm comfort of his embrace turning cold. He just stood there, saying nothing. Finally, he spoke, his voice flat and empty. "What? You want to go normal? Move to some white picket fence suburb, get a golden retriever and 2.5s. "No," Sophia said. "I want you to leave this lifestyle. Let us travel far and leave a new life with our family together, happy and free from guns and bullets." Vincent exhaled sharply, his arms tightening around Sophia, not in anger, but in something far worse, fear. His forehead pressed against her shoulder as if he could fuse himself to her and keep the world from tearing him away. "You don't ask for little things, do you?" His voice was rough, almost a laugh, but not quite. "I can't just walk out. Not after everything I've done. They'll come for us." He turned her gently to face him, eyes burning with pain and something darker, guilt. "Do I really get a choice, even if it means watching my boys grow up under barrels of guns?" Vincent stared at her, his jaw clenched so tight a muscle ticked. The room felt like it was spinning Sophia's words, slicing through every wall he'd ever built. For the first time in his life, Vincent looked lost. "They'll kill them," he rasped, voice raw as an open wound. "Not just me. Not just us." They'll burn our sons alive to punish me. Beat of silence passed before he let out a shuddering breath and pulled her into him, burying his face in her hair like a drowning man clutching driftwood. You asked for one impossible thing after another, he whispered, and yet I still want to give it to you. Vincent's entire body went still like a predator, catching the scent of blood. His grip on her tightened, not in anger, but in something far more dangerous. Hope. You. What? His voice was low, rough with disbelief. 3 years? You think I could just walk away from this life and they won't come for us? A harsh laugh escaped him as he turned her face up, to his eyes burning with intensity. Who the hell are you? A saint. A traitor. His thumb brushed her cheekbone, softening even as his tone turned lethal. Or do you already have a plan to make it happen without my boys paying for it? Then the kids and I will travel far away without you. I don't want them to experience gunshot blood bullets. I don't want that for the kids anymore. We will travel only me and the kids, and when you are ready to leave the Mafia work, you will find us waiting for you. Vincent recoiled like she'd shot him. His hands dropped from her, his face going eerily blank, the kind of stillness that came before a storm. You would take my boys? His voice was quiet to quiet. Deadly. Run with them. Hide from me. Running a shaky hand through his hair as he let out a sharp breath, half laugh, half snarl. You think I'd survive one day without them? You! A muscle in his jaw twitched violently before he turned to the window and slammed his fist into the wall hard enough to split knuckles on wood and blood. The word ripped out of him like glass tearing flesh. But if anything happens to them while they're gone, if someone even looks at Agavia or Dante wrong. He didn't finish the threat. He didn't have to. Vincent's breath was ragged with barely restrained rage, his voice a deep, dangerous growl. He turned back to her, eyes glittering with anger and pain and something deeper, a love that crossed all boundaries. His hands clenched into fists, then slowly relaxed. 3 years. Doll, not 1 day more. After that, we can be whoever the hell we want to be, as long as we're together. You promised? Sophia asked. Vincent stepped forward again, taking her face in his rough hands. His fingers were warm and trembling against your skin, a stark contrast to the dangerous look in his eyes. Promise! Voice was low and fierce, a vow, etched in steel. Our boys will grow up safe, or I'll burn that damn world down. He leaned in, resting his forehead against hers. His next words felt like a whisper of a caress. I love you, doll. The only sound was the steady inhale exhale of her breaths. The outside world seemed to grow muted, a distant thing. In this moment there was only the two of them and their unspoken promises. Then Vincent's hands trailed down Sophia's body, a possessive touch that seared your skin. He began, voice roughened with desire. I need to feel you. Here. Now. Remind myself that this love isn't all a damn dream. Daddy, if it's a dream, I don't want to wake up. A low rumble of a laugh escaped Vincent, his fingers gripping her tight almost, bruising. He pulled her closer, his other hand winding through her hair as he pressed her back against the wall. You drive me insane, he growled, teeth finding her earlobe and giving it a sharp tug. Damn you for making me love you so much. His fingers were already under her shirt, roaming over bare skin. You're mine, every goddamn inch. Sophia Wispier, the way your love increases every passing year makes me younger and wanting you more. Vincent chuckled, his breath warm against her skin as he pressed, searing kisses along her jawline. Damn right it does, he murmured. His hands were moving lower now, slipping under the waistband of her pants. The calloused pads of his fingers brushed her hip, possessive and rough, a subtle warning. Who do you belong to, baby? Sophia. Ah, you, babe. That's right. He was biting her neck now, sucking a dark, claiming mark onto her skin as he pulled her hips flush against his own. His voice was rough, breath ragged as he murmured against her ear. Every part of you. He pulled back, eyes dark with need and possession. Then, Without warning, he picked Sophia up and carried her across the room, tossing her onto the bed and pressing the weight of his body over hers. Sophia beneath him. Vincent caged her in with his body. His hands were everywhere, touching her, marking her, as he kissed and nipped at her skin with a need that burned like fire. His breathing was ragged, her name a litany on his lips. He looked feral, eyes dark, jaw clenched, body trembling with barely restrained desire. But under all that, there was something else, a mix of love and need and protectiveness that turned him into the most dangerous kind of animal. 3 years passed down the road, Vincent turned all his illegal business into legitimate business and sold out all his man and all the issue he had with his rival. One night he came and said, "Doll, it's time to leave free. It's time to give our kids a happy and safe life." It had taken every resource, every ounce of determination and power that Vincent possessed to get to this point. But finally, it was done. His empire stood transformed. His world now legal, or as legal as a man like him could be. He came home that night, his face weary but determined. He found Sophia in the kids' room rocking a whimpering Mafia to sleep after a nightmare. His eyes were on her when he spoke, his voice a rough rasp that filled the silence. "It's time, doll. We can leave?" Asked. The weight of 3 years' worth of struggle and stress seemed to fall from Sophia's shoulders at his words. She felt a wave of relief, and hope washed through her, the start of something new. She gently laid Mafia back in her bed and tucked her in before turning to find Vincent. He was still leaning against the doorframe, his eyes watching her with a mix of exhaustion and love. Sophia stepped towards him, feeling her heart swell with emotion. For the first time in ages, her family could start fresh, free from the shadow of danger. Vince's gaze softened as she approached. He reached for her fingers twining with hers and gently tugging her towards him. His eyes roamed over her face, her lips, her eyes. If he was trying to memorize every line and curve, his other hand came up, thumb gently brushing her cheek in a feather. His voice was low, almost a whisper. "I love you. I'm ready." The move was quick, just as Vincent had promised. 1 month after that fateful night, Sophia stood on the porch of a new home. A cozy, sunlit house in a quiet city, far from her old life. Vincent carried Mafia and Dante through the front door with ease, while Sophia followed behind. Still half convinced this wasn't real, the kids' laughter echoed through the halls as they ran down to their new rooms for the first time. He turned to Sophia then, eyes soft and proud. "This is ours now." If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe and like for more stories like this.